Elon has been on a please buy my cars tour. Please buy my cars.
Yeah.
I'm not joined at the hip with Donald Trump. Don't blame me for the hellscape that this bill they're going to pass is about to turn the country into. He's really, really trying to reassert his own brand. I don't think he's going to be very successful.
Well,
But
now that the
this,
Afrikaners are here and they need benefits, now he's like, I don't know, maybe lay off the Medicaid.
yeah, it's very clear that all of the incredible cost cutting that he made with Doge, as we will see, is just going to get sucked up with healthcare for these fat Afrikaners that we brought over here.
That's right.
So, I was like disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. I mean, like, everything he's done on DOGE gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.
Oh, wow. Spitting in the boss's face, man. Money talks, bullshit walks.
That's right.
So here he is before this. He's been easing his way up to this when he did his disastrous earnings call, aside from claiming that all the protesters at Tesla dealership were paid agent provocateurs. He also at that time started to say, well, I'm not going to spend as much time there. I'm not going to be as involved. We'll see. We'll take a look at the numbers that might have led him to signal that way. So this is what he said in an interview a little bit before this.
I wondered whether you have decided yet how much you're going to spend on the upcoming midterms. Is it you spent a lot more money on the last US election than you envisaged when you were speaking here 3 years ago? Are you going to continue to spend at that kind of level on future elections?
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Have you seen the Tesla sales figures?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes.
The whole basis of my ability to put money into politics is crashing and burning around me. There's talk about getting rid of me as the CEO of my own company. So yeah, I think I'm gonna step away.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Okay. What about political influence beyond the US? How often do you speak to President Putin?
I don't speak to President Putin.
You've never spoken to President Putin?
I was on a video call with him once about 5 years ago.
Okay. That's the only.
Why would you think I speak to President Putin? Oh, you must. I get it.
Because
you believe the legacy.
Actually, I've heard you speak about it. For example, in your West Point speech, you said, "Oh, I challenged President Putin to was it an arm wrestle?" And I know the Wall Street Journal has reported your reported conversations.
Oh, yes.
If you're saying they haven't happened other than once, I'll take that as read.
Is there a worse publication on the face of the earth than the Wall Street Journal? I wouldn't use that to line up my cage for paragraphings.
I could think of a few you'd probably like less than the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, the media is always a really easy target, but it sounds like he made these boasts. So okay, so you're either lying when you made the boast, or you're lying now, so you're a liar. You're saying you're a liar, right? I mean, if there's actual footage, you've made speeches claiming you said this to Putin, then that's not. And we're very critical of Russiagate. Like clearly, she's trying to go there. Not saying no, but it sounds like there was a basis for it. So why don't you just answer it instead of? I mean, and that's what they do, because the media really is horrible. So it's very easy to just deflect that to get out of anything. It's always a get out of jail free card for people like Elon.
But you can see in his eyes and reading his body language, he's done. He's washed. He's over this. Politics chewed him up and spit him out. It's tough business.
Chewed him up and spit him out. He couldn't even swing. You couldn't even swing a judge's race in Wisconsin?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Loser. So this was Trump's rather mild response by comparison to people that haven't given him $200 million.
Elon Musk, in a television interview, criticized the one big, beautiful bill, saying he was disappointed it didn't cut enough, essentially, that it undercut the DOGE efforts. What's your reaction to that?
Well, the reaction's a lot of things. Number one, we have to get a lot of votes. We can't be cutting. We need to get a lot of support, and we have a lot of support. We had to get it through the House. The House was. We have no Democrats. If it's up to the Democrats, they'll take the 65% increase. If that doesn't get approved, this country is going to have a 65% increase in taxes and lots of other problems, big problems, almost bigger than that. But
kids, look, man, I've been around the block a few times. I just want to give the young blood some advice. Find someone who looks at you the way Jeanine Pirro looks at Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have a 65% increase as opposed to the largest tax cut in the history of our country.
That is a woman in love.
We will be negotiating that bill, and I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill, but the beautiful is because of all of the things we have. The biggest thing being, I would say,
she needs a bathroom.
Level of tax cutting that we're going to be doing. We're going to make people really be able to. We'll have the lowest tax rate we've ever had in the history of our country, and tremendous amounts of benefit are going to the middle-income people of our country, low and middle-income people of our country. So we're going to see what happens, because the Senate, as you know, is negotiating with us, and they have to then go back to the House, and it's got a way to go, but. I have to say, Speaker Johnson and Thune have done an incredible job. John Thune has done a fantastic job, and they're working together with me and others. And I think we have an amazing, if we pull this off, remember, we have 0 Democrat votes because they're bad people. There's something wrong with them. They'll let people pour into our country. Single biggest problem is we had 21 million people pour into our country, probably higher than that. And they're people that weren't supposed to be here. And many of those people are bad. Murderers, drug dealers, the mentally insane. They were closing mental institutions all over the world, not South America, all over the world. They're coming into our country, and we're getting them out. And we're having a hard time because some judges aren't making it very easy for us. And it's tough enough. They approved that. They allowed that to happen to our country. We don't have one Democrat vote. And if I were a Democrat, I'd be voting for this bill, and I'd get elected to any position I want as a Democrat. They're crazy. Oh, yeah. They're voting for a 65% tax increase, and they're only doing it for hatred. They're not doing it for any reason. They know it's terrible. Terrible politics, in my opinion. But so we have no Democrat votes. That means we have to get almost all Republican votes, and I think we're very close to doing that. I think it'll be very successful. Yeah, please.
Well, if it's such great politics, why can't you unify your own caucus behind it?
Yeah, no, you know what's great politics? Cutting Medicaid, which 71% of Republicans are against. That's great politics. But Jeanine Pirro, that was remarkable. That was almost like a weird form of erotica. There's like president erotica. Hey, Donald, meet me at the changing room at Bergdorf's later.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She's really, look at her, man. She's very excited there. So Elon Musk, this is how this ended. Was he asked to leave? No, probably not. All of this has been a prelude to leaving and trying to distance himself. Elon Musk thanks Trump, says he's leaving government work with DOGE. He put out this tweet. As my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I would like to thank President Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. Not that I did that, and I avoided the Pentagon like a place that my entire business depends upon, but wow, we really did a lot there. And the DOGE mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government.
Yeah,
he started. It's basically saying he started a religion. In the government. He's going to convert acolytes over there. A White House official who was granted anonymity to describe personnel matters confirmed Musk's departure and said he will begin offboarding Wednesday night. Musk, the world's richest person, is CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and artificial intelligence startup XAI. Musk said this week that he plans to focus more on his businesses. On a Tesla earnings call in April, Musk said that his time spent running Doge would drop significantly by the end of May. On the same call, he said that he would still spend a day or two per week on government work until the end of Trump's term. It seems that he's backing off on that, I would say. Musk has also said he plans to keep his small office at the White House. During his first 100 days working with the Trump administration, Musk said in an interview with Fox Digital News that he had worked in Washington, D.C. on his DOGE initiative 7 days a week or close to 7 days a week. Legal risks are now building up for Musk, with myriad cases filed in the U.S. alleging that he violated federal laws while leading DOGE. On Wednesday, pension fund leaders sent a letter to Tesla's board saying that they should require Musk to put in 40 hours per week at a minimum at the EV maker as a condition to attain any future CEO pay package. So there's Musk there declaring mission accomplished on the deck of the fighter there. Mission accomplished. And it's about as laughable as when George Bush did it. Elon Musk drastically drops Doge's savings goal from 2 trillion to 150 billion for the year. Well, my work here is done. My work here is done, folks. I've completely you know what he could have done? He could have taken the amount of value that his companies lost as a result of his total brand destruction in this process and just donated it.
Right.
And it would have been more money than they wound up saving. And even that's dicey because as people started to dig into their claims and find they were complete bullshit, they eliminated all means by which you could trace back what they're doing. It was going to be a completely transparent effort until the transparency made them look foolish. This is a little bit from USA Today that tells you a little bit about why Elon's brand has taken such a hit. Doge has boasted of saving the federal government more than 175 billion through cuts, though the group's declared savings have often been exaggerated or misleading. The office has dismantled entire federal agencies, axed government contracts, and led the firings of tens of thousands of federal workers. Who knew that would hurt your brand? Firing tens of thousands of people. Musk downplayed the effect his absence would have on Doge's survival during an interview with USA Today and other media outlets earlier this month. Quote, "Is Buddha needed for Buddhism?" Musk said when asked who on the Doge team will fill the void. Doge is a way of life. This is very much the way they market like raw meat and supplements to the chuds who follow them on X, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's a way of life.
It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. Doge. It's goes back to the samurai. The samurai were really the inspiration for Doge.
I'm thinking of like the Lion King, where Simba sees his father in the clouds reflected in the lake. That's Elon up there. Doge is inside of you.
Yeah,
he lives. Doge lives in you.
Doge is in everyone. You must find it, grasshopper.
Yeah.
But what's it really about? This is what it's really about. Tesla's sales are plunging everywhere, not only in the United States, all around the world. These are older figures. I haven't seen any updates, but this was already in February. The sales plunged 60% almost in Germany, over 65% in Australia, almost 50% in China. I'm sure that's going to get worse as time goes on. In the last quarter, Tesla reported a 13% drop in first quarter vehicle deliveries. Oh, and they're being sued for rigging the odometer to understate mileage or overstate mileage in order to expire the warranty more quickly. So he's got quite a lot of reasons to try to go and restore his brand. I'm of the opinion, as a consumer brand, Tesla is dead. all of the reporting is that this robo-taxi thing is a disaster waiting to happen. He's trying to do it on the cheap with technology that everyone who knows anything about this is saying will not work. He's trying to use regular cameras, which tend to not be able to deal with sun glare, this kind of thing. That's why you use LiDAR. He says that's too expensive. He could do it on the cheap. It does not look like that's going to work. And he was able, as he so often has, to pump up his stock by making claims of things he doesn't deliver, like autonomous driving, which he's been promising since I think 2016, is just a year or two out. Now, he's kind of saved the stock or propped up the stock by announcing the robo-taxis going into action in Austin. Waymo's been working on robo-taxis for over 10 years. They have it in multiple cities. He went on his earnings call and claimed, "Oh, I don't see anybody out there who can compete with Tesla." You're not even, it's like you haven't even fielded a team and you're claiming, well, there's nobody who could beat us in the Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Right.
You don't even you have not even put a product on the field yet, and Waymo clearly dominates it. But that's Elon, man, and his fans buy his stock every time he just says shit. He says shit like that. They go, more stock, more stock.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Look, his appeal to conservatives works in terms of buying his stock. They're not going to buy his car. It's just not their thing. And also the rural, even if they did decide, you know what, I want to try me one of them electric cars. I like Elon. I like his product. They don't have the charging stations in those areas to make owning an electric car really feasible for that customer base. So you're not going to make up for the total loss of liberal customers, which was your whole base in the United States. More and more countries are opening up to BYDs, which by a lot of accounts are actually much better product than Tesla. Now, unlike last year, I have not been predicting a collapse in Tesla stock because of his relationship with Trump. That's unpredictable because you don't know that they could announce that they're going to convert the entire army fleet to Teslas, right? As a consumer, so that could prop up the company. So you can't say where that's going to go. As a consumer brand, it's done.
Well, there's a difference between a customer base and a political coalition. You need a lot fewer people who are loyal to you to make for a viable sort of economic base of consumers and or shareholders. In order to piece together a winning political coalition in America, nationally, or even statewide, in the example of Wisconsin, we saw how that worked out.
Right.
You have to have a much broader appeal than he has. And when people got a look at what Elon was trying to do, they rejected it pretty soundly. It was pretty clearly a failure. He, gave a lot of people a very big scare, and some people worse than a big scare, fired some people from their jobs, fired some government workers, terrorized some government workers. But that was pretty brief. I mean, when was our worker strike back event? That was late February. That was sort of right past peak DOGE. That was just about when the fever broke, and then from there on out, it went down, and now it's gone, and it's gone, South Park style. And he said, my scheduled time with the government is done. I believe I'm right about this. I believe he was supposed to be on through 2026 because the whole idea was it was going to be the 250th anniversary celebration was supposed to coincide with the end of his tenure. Now, they're saying he's going to still have an office in the White House, but he's not going to be a government worker. What the hell is that about?
It's not clear. All right, so there was that 130-day thing. You can only be like a special government employee for 130 days. So at first, when they had the deranged idea that this was going to be popular, they were trying to figure out ways around it.
Right.
But now clearly they have a mutual interest. Look, I mean, Trump, whatever his failings, he's pretty politically astute. He knows Elon is poison.
Right. Oh,
that
look
it's
at the
not
calendar.
good for
I
him
guess
to
it's
have.
time to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye. You did a great job, Elon.
Well, we'll talk to you when we need checks for the midterms.
Please clap.